Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League. They are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2023-24 season. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod and subscribe to the YouTube channel right here, Dime Dropper. Hit the notification bell so you know every single time I post a video or go live for all things NBA, LA basketball, and of course, LA sports and LA Clippers. Shout out to everybody in the live tonight. A little bit later than I expected. I know it was an early game, at Cleveland. That's the only game I'm going to be able to talk about tonight. So big apologies again to my Laker fans. So again, what I'm going to do is I am going to try and watch the Warriors game and the Rockets game and have a lot to say on basketball and Figueroa, which will be out on Wednesday after I record tomorrow night with Edwin, because the Lakers are also going to play tomorrow. So I'll have it all. All right, Laker fans, I promise. But tonight, it's going to be a shorter one. Just going to be talking about the Clippers against the Cavs. And yeah, the reason why I wasn't able to watch the game on time is because my middle school team, my sixth grade team, we had our last game of the season, regular season. It was our sixth game. And we played probably the worst team we played all season. And I played a different starting five and just kind of gave the guys that don't get as many minutes time. And we still blew them out. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't too satisfied with the performance, but we won. And the only kid that hadn't scored on our team yet finally scored. And I mean, we got so hyped. And it was, I didn't want to make a big deal about it because it's his moment, but I did draw it up, and that's always nice. I haven't been a coach for that long. It doesn't always work out where I draw something up and they execute it to the T. But that's you have to have a special team to be able to execute these things at that age, to listen to what I'm saying. So executing to perfection. My whole team has scored. And now we await our playoff matchup. And I think we're going to have home court. I didn't even know there was a playoffs of this thing. So I'm just enjoying it. 5-1. And we've been playing seventh grade teams every single game. So sick. If there's any reason worth missing Clipper games, it's doing stuff like that, which is super enjoyable. And I end up, it's been a great experience, man. One of the best of my life. But let's talk about the Clippers. We took an L tonight, 108-118 in Cleveland. We're live from Los Angeles as usual. And I'm not too disappointed with this game. I'm not. I think it really just showed me how well the Cavs are playing. I haven't had much to say about them so far this season because, again, this is an LA-based channel in the regular season. Of course, we're going to talk about every Cavs game in the playoffs. We talk about every playoff game here. But they play the Lakers and the Clippers twice a year. So you're not going to get much content about them unless I'm doing an episode on the whole NBA, which is coming, by the way. I am going to do an episode on the entire league at the All-Star break. I just don't really have time during the week right now. Seriously, there's always a new game to talk about with Lakers and Clippers. So we're going to talk about it during the All-Star break. I'll talk about everyone. But long story short, with Cleveland, they've been playing really well. I thought they were going to slip in the standings a lot when they lost when they lost Evan Mobley and Darius Garland to injury for so long. But it's really just a testament to how well Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen have been playing. And you got to give those other guys credit. I haven't been watching them every night, but there's no way they're winning games in the Struces of the world, George Niang, Isaac Okoro. I was really impressed with Isaac Okoro tonight. Like, the fact that he was making his threes, has that been a thing this season? I mean, 5 for 10 from the field and 3 for 4 from three. This is a guy who was left open purposely in the playoffs last year over and over again by New York. Well, this season he's shooting 36% from three. Okay, Isaac Okoro, I see you, bro. Okay, because defensively, that's the one thing that stood out to me right away. They had Isaac Okoro on James Harden, Max Strus on Kawhi, and then sometimes Mobley on Kawhi. Strus would guard PG, and they switch off at times. And you had Jared Allen guarding Mason Plumlee, and then Donovan guarding Terrence Mann. Couple interesting things. They weren't willing to switch Donovan onto Kawhi. They would hedge and recover, or show and recover. When Kawhi was being guarded by Mobley, and then you put Jared Allen in the pick and roll, they'd switch that 4-5. So then Mobley could guard Mason Plumlee, and then Jared Allen would guard on the perimeter. And there were times where Jared Allen got scored on, but I have to say I was pretty impressed with his perimeter defense. I really was. As far as our side of things, we had Plumlee on Jared Allen, Kawhi Leonard on Evan Mobley, Paul George on Max Strudel, Terrence Mann on Donovan, and James Harden on Isaac Okoro. And I thought it was a pretty solid start from PG, but that was about it. I think part of the reason we lost is because he played pretty ass offensively. Defensively, I thought he was good, actually. Continues to be pretty good in this road trip. But James Harden, I didn't love his performance either. The stats tell you, he had a double-double, but I did not like the way he played, and I'll get into more specifics in a second. Russell Westbrook, I thought he was pretty good. I thought our bench for the most part was great. Thought Russ's defense, though, in the second half, before he came back into the game, was lacking completely for how well he's played defensively this season. I'm just going through all the quick reasons why we lost real quick, and then we'll get into the breakdown. But free throws, major in the fourth quarter. What the fuck was that? Very disappointed there. And then I just thought we took really bad shots. But that's what I really got to give the Cavs credit. They played great defense. They show that they have a lot of size, which, remember, this is the number one team defensively in the league last year by defensive rating in the regular season. So they have good defensive personnel, but the fact that they didn't have Evan Mobley for a while, remember, this is his return tonight. And it definitely made a difference defensively. I can say that from having played against them or having my team played against them. But this is a good defensive team. And I was very impressed with their size, their length, and we've clearly been bothered a little bit by teams with a lot of size in the front court, which we know is the obvious weakness of the Clippers. But here's the thing I want to remind people. Every team has some kind of flaw. Like, there are very few perfect teams in NBA history that have no flaws at all, no holes, no weaknesses. Of course, it would be great to shore up by getting another big forward. But right now, we got a 9-man rotation. That's really good. Amir Coffey, and we can go deeper with 3 bigs if we want to play Mason Plumlee in the playoffs. That's when Zubats comes back. We got Daniel Tice, we got Russ, Norm, and Amir, 4 really solid reserves. You don't want to go more than 9 deep in the playoffs. Situational against certain big teams. Okay, we can maybe go 2 bigs or something. But we just lost because Paul George and James Harden didn't play that well. We missed free throws, and collectively as a team, I thought we weren't very good defensively, and we took really bad shots. It's not a big deal. It's 1 loss. We've won 5 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to lose, this is what a championship team looks like. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose to good teams. You're going to win all the games that you should win, and you're just going to lose to some good teams sometimes. Make it competitive. Don't get blown out very much. You get blown out, respond with a blowout. These are championship characteristics, and for the most part, and you guys know, you've been following me for 4 years. I don't say this about the Clippers, guys, but we've been showing some of these championship characteristics the last couple of weeks. And let me tell you something. We didn't play well in this game, and it was still close. 10-point game. We lost, but it was, a 5-point game with about 2 minutes, 30 seconds left or something like that. So we were right in there. We were right there. So I wouldn't be too mad, Clipper Nation, with the loss. It is what it is. We didn't play well enough. You also have to remember, they're missing Darius Garland. We're missing Ivica Zubats. That matters. And I got to say, Donovan Mitchell was just spectacular. And Donovan Mitchell, there's something to be said about how good he is in the regular season every year. I'm not saying he's bad in the postseason, but I think he had a good start to his career in the postseason. The last 3 years, no. We've seen it on Dime Dropper. We've covered the whole way. He has not been good the last 3 postseasons, but it is very hard to be as consistent as he is season in, season out, carrying offenses the way that he does. Now let's get into the breakdown. As far as Paul George's solid start, that was about it. It was just a solid start. I thought the way we were playing Donovan Mitchell on the pick and rolls was predictable. We had Mason Plumlee come out to the level of the screen. And again, Isaac Okoro had 15 points in the first half. Like, he was making his shots. And the thing that stood out to me right away was the Cavs defense. Isaac Okoro did a really good job on James Harden at the point of attack. And I thought he did a good job of just not letting James Harden create separation, not letting him get good looks off. And that's part of why James Harden only had 8 shots. James knows what shots are good for him and which ones aren't. And he was taking a lot away, Isaac Okoro. He did a good job of playing him to his right, but not giving him too much space to get into his step back. I mean, you need great defenders for this. And Isaac Okoro clearly showing me that he's very, very good. So I thought he made life tough. And I also thought we weren't smart about the way we attacked them. At times we were just going at Isaac Okoro. I thought I think we did a better job of it in the second half, but we could have gone to more mismatch hunting in the first half, in my opinion. And I don't think we were hunting out those weaker defenders enough. Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, George Niang, these guys. And we weren't hitting shots to start the game at all. I want to see what we shot as a whole in the game. 47.5%. So it actually ended up pretty okay. 32% from three. So that's 2 games in a row not shooting the ball well from three. 10 for 40 against Boston, 11 for 34 here against Cleveland. So we're probably due for a good 3-point shooting game. And I have to say, they made it tough. It wasn't like we generated a ton of open looks. I thought we generated a good amount, but they did a good job guarding. They made life tough on us. They made us take tougher shots. And again, I think we played into their hands a little bit, like Paul George for a while, until I think the second half, maybe even late third quarter. It felt like he had only taken contested jumpers beside that fast break layup he had early in the first quarter. He bails the defense out way too much, in my opinion, Paul George. But who sparked things for the Clippers late in that first quarter? Norman Powell and Russell Westbrook. We were down 28-25 after one. And then to start the second quarter, we saw some great stuff from Amir, from Brody, and from Norm. Russ posted up against Sam Merrill twice. First time he had a spin baseline for a layup. Other time he spun again, drew the crowd, kicked it out to Norman Powell for three, and then he proceeded to hit a three right after Norman Powell again. Amir Coffey, 4-point play in the left corner, and he had that catch foul line turn to hit the jumper. So great stuff from them early in that second quarter. And then Kawhi started to heat up, so much so that the Clippers took a 7-point lead, 49-42. I have to say, at this point, James Harden, he took some bad shots. I think he had some possessions where he was just holding the ball too long. And then he had some bad turnovers. Some very good passes, though, as well. He still had his fair share of good passes, but it just wasn't a very good James Harden game. I don't think he was, aggressive enough. But I just think he got locked up, straight up. I think they did a good job on him. But he also missed some easy looks. There was one time he blew right by Jared Allen in the second half, and he missed a floater. But I'll talk about that in a second. I already talked about Donovan. He was not switching on to Kawhi, showing and recovering. But I think one thing that was huge in terms of us losing the game tonight was the way we ended quarters, particularly in the second and third. And it starts with just bad shot selection and turnovers. We had so many careless turnovers in the second quarter. James Harden had an 8-second violation. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Jason Plumlee was throwing the ball away. I mean, it was just crazy. And also really weird. I wanted to check the score in time for this. But we ended the half without Paul George and Kawhi. Since when have we been doing that? That was pretty peculiar that Ty Lue did that. I want to see when they came out of the game. Okay, so we're up by 7. They're still in the game. Norm and Amir come in the last minute. We're down by 1, and then we're down by 4 at half. So it wasn't actually that big of a deal. But we were down 56-52 at the half. And in the third quarter, the game was pretty neck and neck, honestly. Pretty neck and neck the whole way. Defensively, when Evan Mobley was guarding James Harden in the pick and roll, he would be in drop coverage. Mobley was guarding Kawhi more, I noticed in the second half. Jared Allen was in drop coverage against Paul George. And we actually went up when Kawhi hit a go-ahead 3 and then an insane step-back 3 over Donovan Mitchell in the corner. Kawhi was starting to be in his bag. Look, the Cavs are going to switch a lot, right? Forcing you to play more one-on-one. And who better to have with the ball in his hands more than anyone than Kawhi? I didn't mind the aggression tonight. Yeah, he shot a lot, but he was efficient. And we want him to shoot a lot. If there's anybody that we want to shoot a lot, it's Kawhi Leonard. Russ, I thought when he came in, he did a great job of getting to the rim, exploding to the basket. You knew he would have a better shooting game after missing a bunch of layups against Boston. But I thought that in the second half, his defense wasn't as strong. I thought first half he had some good moments defensively. Terrence Mann and Kawhi also had some really good moments guarding Donovan Mitchell in the first half. Donovan still got his, but there were some great moments of ball denial by Terrence and by Kawhi. But in the second half, Russ, he could not guard Donovan. Like he was struggling massively. There was one time where Donovan even created so much space on a snatchback and then unnecessarily passed to Dean Wade. I was kind of assist hunting or being too unselfish, as you would say. But I didn't, there was one time Russ didn't really rotate at the rim. One where he was over helping and got beat too easily, got the defense in rotation. And then I forget, I think it was Niang that hit a corner three. So I didn't like his defense in the second half until he came back in the game. Then he created that steal against Okoro and led to a fast break. But yeah, not just Russ. I thought Harden's defense in the first half was actually pretty good. But then in the second half, not good at all. Against Donovan Mitchell, he just has no chance. And there was one time in the first half where he did a good job of contesting a shot. But second half, he was getting kind of torched, which is expected against Donovan. But there was another time where I think it was Niang got by him. And then he fed Jared Allen on that end one that basically ended the game. But one thing I also found interesting that Cleveland was conceding the switch with Niang on Kawhi. And Kawhi, as I said, he was doing his thing. But we had another bad ending to the third quarter, and it starts with just bad shot selection. Like for example, at the end of the first half, Norman Powell took a bad shot too. Then in the third quarter, Russ is driving into traffic. Kawhi's taking a bad shot when the defense is loading up on him. We had Amir Coffey wide open in the corner, and he'd been shooting well. And Donovan, I have to say, Russ couldn't guard him. Terrence Mann got blown by once or twice in the first half, but I think that Terrence actually did a better job than everyone else denying him. And I don't think we went to Terrence. There's an argument that can be made that we didn't go to Terrence enough in the second half. Amir was playing really well, and of course, you're going to ride with Harden, Kawhi, and Paul. And Norm, I mean, he's been so good lately, and he was actually playing well in this game. So it is hard to make a justification for Terrence with only playing 19 minutes because Amir was playing so well. And Amir played 27 minutes, and he had 13 points, a rebound, an assist, and a steal on 5 for 9 shooting and 2 for 5 from 3. Terrence had 5 points, 1 assist, 2 steals, no rebounds, though, on 2 for 4 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3. And here's my thing with the Clippers. Of course, we're going to switch 1 through 4, but here's the thing. Cavs, they got us on the glass. They did, and we could see that we were a little bit overmatched size-wise. And of course, no Zubats is the biggest reason for that. We had 37 rebounds in the game. They had 46. They had 11 offensive rebounds to our 6. So they won the rebounding battle in both ways. And that's going to hurt. They also made more threes than the Clippers. We were 11 for 34. They were 13 for 40. And then the free throws. We made the same amount, but we shot 2 more. And again, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to Cleveland in terms of free throws. We should be hitting free throws. It was James Harden missed one in the fourth. Paul George missed one in the fourth. But anyway, Donovan Mitchell, he was getting by everyone. There was one time where he even turned the corner on Kawhi, got by Paul George. He was spectacular. Some amazing moves, some great passes. I got to hand it to him. In the third quarter, the Cavs outscored the Clippers 32-29. So we actually gave every quarter in this game. Every single one was close. We lost the first by 3, the second by 1, the third by 3, and the fourth by 3. So tough news. But, the fourth quarter can be talked about in itself. As I said, we weren't playing good defense. Norman Powell wasn't great on that end. I think Kawhi and Paul were good. Mason Plumlee offers little to no resistance. He gets the corner turned on him so easily. So easily. So, yeah, I'm tempted to say that Kawhi and Paul George and Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey are only good defenders in this game. Tice was okay. He had that bad illegal screen that pissed me off in the second half. But Dean Wade was guarding James Harden at a good amount in that fourth quarter, and James was targeting Jared Allen in that pick and roll, and they were switching Jared Allen onto him. And at times, he was just giving James Harden the right hand, and James did blow by him a couple of times. One time, he missed a floater, and it led to a Karis LeVert layup. And before that, Max Strus had hit a contested 3 to make it 100-90. So once LeVert made the layup to make it 102-90, we took a timeout, and I started having a feeling like, we're probably not going to pull this one out. Like, it just things. James Harden's missing open floaters. He's not really hitting like that. I mean, he hit his 2 threes in the fourth, but I want to see what he was shooting before the fourth. He was 2 for 3 in the fourth. So overall, before that, he was 1 for 5. Like 5 shot attempts, and he played 39 minutes in the game. So, like, that's not much. It was showing that he was struggling to get clean looks off. That's what it was showing. And a lot of ball pounding. This is the James Harden I'm a little bit worried about. Like, let's be the one that I was worried about when we got him. And by the way, there are things that can happen that can make me say I was dead on wrong about the Harden trade before the playoffs even begins. But everybody knows that my whole fear is the playoffs. It is my fear. But I'm not going to say that James Harden can't play against good teams and stuff like that because of 3 games that, against the Lakers and then one against the Celtics and then this one. I still believe that he's going to have some big regular season games against teams in the regular season. But right now, you're starting to see sometimes we play these good teams. He's struggling a bit. He's struggling a bit in the regular season. So, against good teams. All right, hold on a second, guys. My sound cut out for a sec. Holy shit. Shut up. All right, hold on one second, guys. Give me like 10 seconds. One against the Celtics, and then this one, I still believe that he's going to have some. I still believe that Harden is going to have some big games against good opposition in the regular season. I do. So let's keep on going, though. Oh, it's a tough one. It was a tough one. You got to give credit to Cleveland, honestly. Their defense was good, and Donovan Mitchell was spectacular. Isaac Okoro played really well, but we were struggling to guard. We were really struggling to guard. And at one point, we went with the small ball lineup of James Harden, Kawhi, Paul George, Norman Powell, and Amir Coffey. And again, I thought the Cavs did a good job. Like, it was basically just mismatch hunting both ways. We had like Kawhi and James Harden going against Jared Allen, some Paul George against George Niang and Strus. There was one time where Paul George had the ball. I forget against who. I think it may have been Strus on the left block. And I thought he was perfectly set up for a turnaround over the left shoulder, just rise in the middle of the paint. But instead, he like pivoted back the other way and got a travel. That was just, again, just bad decision making on our part in isolation situations. Just too much nonsense, bad contested shots with plenty of time on the shot clock. We just got to be smarter, easily fixable. And yeah, Paul George, he started to get going just a little bit in that third quarter. He only had 3 points in the first half. Okoro had 15. But Paul got going just a little bit more in the third, but he still wasn't convincing me. Although I will say this, for all those that are saying he had the groin injury, he was still going to the basket more than some games when he's perfectly healthy. So I don't think it was the injury. It looked fine to me. But Paul George does this stuff when he shoots bad shots constantly, and sometimes he'll just have off shooting games. It is what it is, right? And that's what this was. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So again, I thought he was active defensively, even though he got fouled out, which really hurt. But 13 points on 3 for 11 shooting and 0 for 5 from 3. And I thought a lot of them were not even easy. One of the easiest 3 he had of the night that Westbrook gave him, he missed so badly. I was like shocked. But yeah, not a good game for Paul George in 27 minutes. And of course, Ty Lue did say he was going to kind of be managed. So he is getting a little bit less minutes than he normally would. And then you have James Harden, who, as I said, he got his double-double, 11.7 rebounds, 10 dimes, a steal and a block. He was 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3 in the end, so that looks good. 3 for 4 from the line and had 3 turnovers. But that small ball lineup, it actually made a little bit of a run. It was just kind of struggling to guard. Harden had a really bad foul on Max Strus for 3 free throws. That was very timely. But Kawhi was keeping us in it with 30 points. Like, he was keeping us in it. Tough shots, mid-range, one-on-one, just mastery. He even had that emphatic dunk driving to the lane. We were down by 10. Then the free throw misses started. PG missed a free throw that could have made it 103-109, and then he fouled out. And then we had Harden get a defensive 3-second violation when we cut it down to 106-111. Like, these were just very timely errors, or untimely errors, I should say, by the Clippers. And then Russ came in for Paul. He had that nice deal on Okoro. As I said, I thought he played better defense when he came back in. And Amir got an and one, but he missed the free throw. And then Donovan had that jumper off the pump fake where he faked Amir out of his shoes, who I thought played good defense, by the way, overall. He made the jumper to make it 114-108. Harden penetrated, kick to Kawhi, who made the extra pass to Norm Powell, and he missed the open three. That would have made it 111-114, and I knew right there we had lost. And then we had Harden get beat baseline, Niang to Jared Allen for the and one, and that was it. They outscored us 30-27 in the fourth. They won 118-108. Moral of the story, free throws, got to make them. Kawhi was great. Let's just read the lines and we'll talk about it like that. Cavs shot 49%. They shot 32.5% from three, so they didn't even shoot that well from three. They shot 32.5%. We shot 32.4%. So 1% difference or 0.1% difference. They shot 81% from the foul line, 21 for 26. We shot 47.5% from the field, 32% from three, and 75% from the line. They went 9 deep. Sam Merrill, I think that's his name, right? Sam Merrill? Yeah. He had 7 minutes, was 0 for 1, had a donut. Dean Wade had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 dimes on 2 for 8 shooting, and all his shots were threes. He played 26 minutes, so more than Mobley. George Niang had 10 points. So the Cavs had 7 people in double figures. Niang had 10 points on 3 for 10 shooting and 2 for 7 from three, 2 for 2 from the line in 20 minutes. Karis LeVert, he had some big shots, including big shots to end quarters, like that third quarter step back three hit from the left wing. Actually, it was changed to a 2, but really impressive shot. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Only 1 turnover for him. He shot 50% from the field, 6 for 12, 1 for 4 from three. Didn't get a free throw attempt, though, and played 23 minutes. Then you have the starters for the Cavs. Max Strus, very solid game from him. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers on 4 for 8 shooting, 3 for 7 from three, and 3 for 3 from the line in 35 minutes. And then you had Evan Mobley, who only played 21 minutes, but boy, did I feel his impact defensively. It was tough. He can move his feet, protects the rim, covers ground really well. 10 points, 9 boards, 1 steal. He did turn the ball over 3 times, though. 5 for 7 from the field, no free throw attempts. Isaac Okoro, what a game for him. 17 points, a rebound, 3 assists, and a steal. Only 1 turnover. 5 for 10 from the field, and 3 for 4 from three, and 4 for 4 from the line. So when you have Okoro defending James Harden like that, shooting 50, 75, 100, I mean, they got a good chance to win for sure. And then you got Jared Allen, who had 20 points, Jesus Christ, 20 points, 17 rebounds, 4 of those offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and a block. He did turn the ball over 3 times as well. But what a stat line. My God. If it's a Zubats, we miss you. 7 straight games where we haven't had Big Zoo. Jared Allen was 6 for 9 from the field and 8 for 11 from the line. So that's impressive. Let's see what he's been shooting from the foul line this year. 76%. Okay. I mean, last year he shot 73%, so he's not a bad free throw shooter. Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion, the player of the game. 28 points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, a block, and 2 turnovers. He was magnificent. He was not great from 3, though. He was 2 for 10, but he was 9 for 11 from 2. And I just thought he was doing an amazing job of carrying the offense. Without him, they don't get close to this result. He constantly draws 2 defenders on pick and rolls, and even one-on-one, he was creating stuff, getting 2 feet in the paint, making our defense collapse. There was one time where he was just coming up the court on a made basket, and he drew 4 bodies and got an open 3. Like, that's amazing stuff from one of the best guards in the league. Really good game for Donovan. Now for the Clips. We had 9 players, the normal. Of course, Brandon Boston, Kobe Brown got some garbage minutes. But Daniel Tice, he got 17 minutes. He had a donut, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, though. Made some good reads in the short roll. 0 for 1 from the field, and his only shot was a 3. 17 minutes. I thought he was pretty quiet for his normal standard that we've been used to seeing with the Clips. Terrence Mann only got 19 minutes. 5 points, an assist, 2 steals, but I thought he was good in his minutes, even though the plus minus says differently. 2 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. Had some good moments defending Donovan off the ball. And then you had Amir Coffey, who played 27 minutes, had 13 points on 5 for 9 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the line. Amir's been super good lately. And I love to see that. Nothing bad to say about him, really. I wish he had made that free throw. Then Russ, I thought he was good in this game. I thought he was good. Didn't like his defense as much in the second half, but that's just holding him to the standard of defense that he's been this season. And of course, shout out to my mod, Bones got busy. He posted that clip of me going off about the Terrence Mann getting slighted by stands and the Russ stands crying, tears like crazy. Because I said Terrence Mann. Out of everything I said in that video, I appreciate that they listened that long. But out of everything I said in that clip, they went to, oh my God, I can't believe he said that Terrence Mann's a better defender than Russ. Look, I'm not going to push back if you think Russ is a better defender than Terrence. I think Terrence is a little more disciplined on D. And, I think today only proved my point, but it's only a 1-game sample size. So, again, it's not a hill I'm going to die on. I just think that Terrence has the responsibility to start each half of guarding the elite guard on the other team. So, for that reason, I think that I can say with more confidence that he's had a higher value defensively this year. You can argue that when they've been in, Russ has been better defensively overall. But I think Terrence just has less defensive lapses, gambles less. There was one time where Russ gambled today and got blown by easily by Donovan. So, you can go either way. Again, it's not a hill I'm going to die on. That wasn't the purpose of the clip. The purpose of the clip was that whole rant was for me to say that you stands have no right to talk about Terrence Mann being traded to this and that. He's not this and that because you haven't watched him that long. So that's all I was saying there. But of course, I did say very choice words about them, cuss them out and all this stuff. So they can hate me. Stands are not going to like me. That's the obvious truth. It is what it is. That's not what my platform is targeted towards. My platform is more targeted towards team fans and fans of their local teams. But of course, some people don't have local teams. And if you're a player fan from overseas, that's a different story altogether. I get it. I would hope that you stay with the Clippers, though. My sound cut out again. I'm hoping that you stay with the Clippers, though, for the long haul. But yeah. So my point is this. I thought Russ was good. That was being a little, nitpicky. But I'm just going to call it how it is with every player that we have. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers for Russ, though. I didn't even notice he had 4 turnovers. Got to do better than that. Taking care of the ball. But I liked how aggressive he was going to the basket. 5 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 3 for 4 from the line. Norm Powell, I thought he was fantastic, honestly. Just not great defensively, but he is who he is defensively. He's not always going to be solid. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 for 13 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, 2 for 4 from the line. That's not good. He's got to make at least 3 of those, but he was efficient from the field in 3. Then you have the rest of the starters. Mason Plumlee, no resistance, man. 5 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, 1 block, 1 turnover, 1 for 1, 3 for 4 from the foul line in 22 minutes. And then you have Harden, Paul, and Kawhi. Paul, 13 points on 3 for 11 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3, 7 for 8 from the line. So he got to the line. I think it was more of a second half thing, though, him being more aggressive getting to the line. Let's see how many free throw attempts he shot in the second half. 7. So there you go. 7 out of his 8 free throw attempts were in the second half. So he just started going to the basket. First half, he was settling. And then James Harden, 11.7 rebounds, 10 dimes on 3 for 8 shooting and 2 for 5 from 3, 3 for 4 from the line. And then Kawhi, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a turnover on 13 for 25 shooting. So 52%. I'll take that. 2 for 7 from 3. So didn't shoot well from 3. A couple of times I thought he didn't need to take 1 or 2 of them. Only 2 free throw attempts for Kawhi. He didn't get all the way to the rim when he had slower guys guarding him, but I thought he did a good job of at least getting to the paint. So I'll take it from Kawhi. I don't think he was the problem at all. But that was it. It's a loss. It is what it is. We've still won 27 of our last 35. We've still won 22 out of our last 27. We're chilling. We just went on a 5-game winning streak. And guess who we have next? Washington and Detroit. We have to win those games. OKC lost to Minnesota tonight. So that's going to help us. I really wish Milwaukee had beaten Denver, but Denver won. It's just so, we got to get home court over Denver. We want to beat them to me. They're just too dangerous in that altitude. Knicks, shout out to the Knicks. I know we didn't do the 4 sportsmen, but they are the hottest team in the league currently. 7 wins in a row. How about the Miami Heat? 7 losses in a row. We're going to talk about all this stuff in a future episode, but I got to get out of here. I got to do Locked On Clippers, and I got to watch 2 Laker games, maybe 3 Laker games in the next 24 hours before basketball in Figueroa. So have a good night, guys. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Sorry if this live was a little sloppy. I've had a long day, and it came right after I watched the game. No time to process, but that's what Dime Dropper's for. I'm just trying to spew out my thoughts, hopefully do it more concise than it comes off sometimes. I know it's a little all over the place, but then I collect my thoughts, go into Locked On Clippers a bit more organized. But these are always going to be up for eternity, so they're all receipts. And you can go back and see my ones from previous seasons. I mean, why not? Anyway, have a great one, guys. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on. $100 a dime. Peace. Okay. Not man, our streak is broken, guys. Our streak is broken. Every single live this season had since James Harden, Clipper Live had 100+ people, and we only have 52 people in here. Feels like a Laker live. Because I went live way too far after the game, and it was late. Hold on a second. I'm going to go get some water, and then I'll answer the comments, okay? Mods, tell people to stay in. There's really not that many comments. So you can honestly keep commenting and talking. We'll be back in like a minute.